Welcome into Tiger Talks Wrestling. I am your host, Tony. Hello guys, welcome back again. I am Tony. This is Tiger Talks Wrestling. Welcome into the show, Buster Boy.
Thank you, Axiom, with a mouthful of Swiss rolls.
Yeah. So this is our part 2 of the episode 4 review, weekend review, except for we're doing 2 weeks. Yesterday we did up to the Royal Rumble. This week we got last week's shows to go over here real quick. We'll get in a moment. I want to mention, though, first, the reports have come out that Jerry the King Lawler did suffer a stroke last night. Was found face down in his own yard yesterday by a family friend and is in the hospital. He is awake now, though, but doesn't have any feeling in the right side of his body pretty much and can't talk. So things get better for the
second one, right?
Yes, I do believe so. Well, no, I think it's his first stroke. He had a heart attack, if I remember correctly.
Oh, okay.
Is what he had on TV. So, prayers and all that out for King and his family. Anyway.
I think King will pull through with this. You know, he's a tough cookie. I think he'll pull through.
Right?
Don't know why. I'm tired. I don't know why.
So we'll go right in. Let's dive into last week's Monday Night Raw. The night after, 2 nights after, sorry. Not the night after. The Royal Rumble event. Of course, the show kicks off with the winner of the 2023 Men's Royal Rumble, Cody Rhodes. Let's start typing up the potential main event of WrestleMania with him and Roman Reigns for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Except Cody didn't get to talk about it too much as he got interrupted by the Judgment Day. Finally. Which he's doing a whole ex-con and all that bull crap. Judgment Day minus Ria Ripley, might I add, again.
That's what you said.
As Judgment Day was leaving, I thought they were leaving, Edge comes out and tries to get some payback again. And we see Cody and Edge battling it out with Judgment Day.
Yeah, I know.
Adam Pearce and, of course, all the agents and security try to pull them apart. From there, they did mention, and we start our qualifying matches for the men's Elimination Chamber match that'll take place in Elimination Chamber for the United States Championship. The match we go into is Seth freaking Rollins goes one-on-one with Chad Gable with Otis in his corner. I think pretty much everybody knew who was going to win this match, but you can't take anything away from Chad Gable. As per usual, he had a very good showing in this match against Seth. Does pretty much in any match that he's been in lately, in my opinion.
Man, I can't hear you over the sound of the bouncing in the background. I'm sorry. What's going on here? I can't hear you over the sound of the bouncing. It sounds like somebody dropped the ball again and it won't stop bouncing.
Trying to say somebody's dropped the ball on Chad Gable?
Somebody dropped the ball somewhere. I don't know, but I just can't hear you over the sound of that annoying bouncing. I wish it would stop. Like, I can't hear you over that. It's so annoying.
Alrighty then.
Oh, it's just Shawn Michaels dropping the ball again. Okay, cool.
How does Shawn Michaels fit into all of it?
I mean, every time the ball drops, it's always Shawn Michaels. Like DX taught us that
Okay.
back in the 90s. It's always Shawn Michaels, the king of dropping the ball.
Yeah.
In my
Not
opinion, this was
completely
a
wrong.
huge missed opportunity, in my opinion.
Yeah,
A huge missed opportunity.
I can see why you'd say that. I mean, not to piggyback off of it, but they kind of did the opposite in the right way last night with a different tag team. But we'll dive more into that another time.
Okay, why couldn't the same issue that I had with Chad Gable is the same issue that I had with Raven back in the day. It's like
What's that?
Raven is a talented individual, right?
Right.
Chad Gable is a very talented individual. But damn it, the higher ups just won't get behind them for nothing.
It's true.
Which I could understand, Raven fucked up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I understand that. He killed his own push back in his heydays. But Chad Gable didn't kill his own push. If anything, he's been loyal. He could have left years ago. He could have left along with everybody else when they were leaving during the whole COVID shit. But no, he didn't. He stuck around. And what happened? Still getting shafted, still stuck in these shitty tag teams. No disrespect to Otis. Very talented individual, but his 15 minutes of fame is long over. So it's working on -2 years now. So, which good guy, by the way, very good guy, very classy guy. But
right.
I mean, I really feel like they missed a huge opportunity with both of them. I really feel like that Seth could have took a loss here, and he would have been fine.
Okay, I could see your point there.
It didn't even have to be like. It didn't even have to be like a decisive victory. It could have been a roll up, you know, and Otis could have just grabbed him and hold on to him or something.
Yeah,
he could have took it.
That's true. I wouldn't have hurt him none, especially if Otis was involved. So
yeah, I mean, it'd be pretty cool. It'd still make him look like a beast. It'd still make him look good, looking out for his friend, but.
Done. I mean, then afterwards, they could always have Seth hit a stomp on Otis, if nothing else, to get a little payback. So,
yeah, and then we could have those two feud for a little bit,
Right.
But again, missed opportunity, very missed opportunity.
Anyway, we move on from there, and you got Io Sky with Bailey and Dakota in her corner, facing off with Candice LeRae with Mia Yim in hers. Another.
Oh, correction, Mia Michkin. Now.
Michin.
Whatever. Michkin, whatever. Munchkin, for all I fucking care. I don't know.
Michin, Mia Yim.
Yeah, Michin, Mia Yim. She should have just stuck with Jade or Mia Yim.
She's still the HBIC.
Yeah. Again, that's what I'm talking about with the missed chances. But oh
well. So I'm going to say something that might not be a very popular opinion for some people to hear, but I kind of feel like Candice LeRae hasn't been up to par since she's returned and been part of the main roster and been part of the Raw roster. She still has decent matches, but I feel like we've seen so much more out of her in her NXT run than what we've seen so far on Raw, and I don't know if that's just she hasn't quite caught back up to the level she was at before she had a baby, or if it's just that they're not giving her as adequate of time or whatever the case may be. But this Candice just doesn't seem to be the same Candice that we've seen in NXT to me.
I could not agree more. Honestly, I don't. I'm not feeling this whole thing. I mean, I hate to put these two in the same category, even though they're polar opposites. I am with Candace like I was with Karrion Kross. You know, like
Yeah.
I thought Karrion Kross was boring. I thought that he only had like an entrance and his moves weren't really that impressive. Just like with Candace, I'm like, her promo skills were getting better.
Yeah.
And then now it's like since she came back, it's gotten worse. It's like she just doesn't care.
Right.
And I don't know. I don't know what's going on with this. I don't like it.
Me neither. I'm not sure exactly either. But yeah, Io won that match anyway, as Candace keeps losing. Pretty much more so than anything else. I don't think there was anything else really to take out of that match. I mean, Io hit the over the moonsault to get the win. So we move on from there, and Rio Ripley comes out with her picking which champion she's going to face at WrestleMania. So she goes on to decide to choose to face the SmackDown Women's Champion, Charlotte Flair, to try and get revenge from 3 years ago when she lost the NXT Women's Championship to Charlotte at WrestleMania. What was your take and opinion on Rhea's decision here? Did you agree with it, or would you rather see the opposite?
All right. I'm just happy to see Rhea Ripley win a title of some sort. You know what I mean?
Right.
But personally, I would have been better. It would have been better off if it was Bianca, to be honest. It would have been much better to me, in my opinion, if it was Bianca, because it just made sense. It made more sense that it was her. She's been on a better role. It didn't make sense to me that it was Charlotte. I'm like, why wait 3 years?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense as a character. It doesn't make sense. But that's just my take on it.
It'll be interesting to see. It'd be great if, as long as Rhea ends up winning the SmackDown Women's title. But I think the match that everybody, or mostly everybody, really wanted to see, were hyped for, was Rhea and Bianca. And I don't know why they're waiting on it, but that's still a match I feel like everybody wants to see at some point.
Yeah, it's just really stupid for them not to pull the trigger. I mean, fucking Rhea has been on a rampage. She's been on a hot streak. And I don't think it's I don't think it's going to cool off anytime soon. I don't think so. Like, I think this is the best Rhea that we've gotten. Like, and everybody knows how I felt about her when she first arrived in NXT UK. I fucking loved Rhea. I've always liked Rhea.
Yeah. I don't blame you. She's a great athlete, that's for sure.
She has it all. Like, she's the definition of the total package. Like, she has the it factor, she has the charisma, she has the look. Her look is, from today's standards, is a little edgy.
Right.
And that's what a lot of people like. She doesn't look like your traditional girl, which is good. She looks different, and that's what people like about her.
Yeah. Yeah, it was interesting to know as well. Rhea actually came out there for the announcement by herself, and she even mentioned, "Hey, this is the first time in quite a while that I've been out here without the Judgment Day." So it's something different to see her be out there by herself. Question is, if she wins the SmackDown Women's Championship at WrestleMania, does that mean we'll be seeing Judgment Day on both shows at that point, or will just Rhea be moved over to SmackDown, or what's going to happen with that?
I'm thinking that it's going to be both shows.
We'll see. I mean, there's rumored to be a draft coming up at some point after WrestleMania, but that's just rumor right now.
Yeah.
Move on from there. Kathy Kelly talked to Seth about his victory backstage, yada yada. And the next match, you got Baron Corbin with JBL facing Johnny Gargano, who has Dexter Lumis in his corner in another qualifying match for the Elimination Chamber.
Unpopular opinion. This Johnny Gargano fucking sucks.
I mean, his
what
in-ring
happened
work
to
is
Johnny
good,
Gargano,
but,
dude?
yeah.
What happened to Johnny wrestling? Like, what happened to him now? The Gargano way, the Gargano wrestling. What happened to Mr. 5 Stars? What happened to him? Now he's been reduced to, I don't even fucking know. So, unpopular opinion, this Johnny Gargano can go away. But that's just my opinion.
I get that. Like I said, his in-ring work is still fine, in my opinion. But character-wise, storyline-wise stuff, it's just, again, like with his wife, Candace, it's just not quite clicking the way it did in NXT.
It's not. It's like, okay, hold on. How do I put it in a way? I'm not taking anything away from his ability.
Yeah.
But it just seems like it's more watered down.
I think that is a good way to put it.
It's a watered down version. It's like, it's a PBS Kids special version of Johnny Gargano. Like, what the hell? I'm expecting him to go, "Hi everyone, welcome to Sesame Street." Like, what is going on here? Like, where's your imaginary friend? Where's the puppet up? Where's the hand up your ass? Has Candace got her hand up your ass now? What's going on? What is going on with the characters, man? Like, it's like, I don't know. It just hits completely different now. And I don't know why. Something's missing.
Yeah. I feel like he's almost a little too dependent of Dexter Lumis right now. I mean, case in point, the end of this match comes with Dexter using his hatchet to cut into JBL's hat, cowboy hat, which is the distraction that led to Johnny picking up the win over Corbin. Do we even get started on the whole Corbin situation, but not mentioning what happened this week, obviously, yet. But Corbin's been doing nothing but losing more so than not since he'd been put up with JBL. So
kudos to him for sticking around, because if I wouldn't, like, Corbin is in dire needs of a repackaging. I'm talking about not some bullshit like experiment. Like, I'm talking about a full-on repackaging, completely different character, completely different everything, like different look, different everything.
Yeah.
Even move sets.
I'd agree.
I mean, and I think he just, I don't know, like, how do I put this way? The best way I can describe it is the best way that Edge described it. He is a walking vacuum, both managing to suck and blow at the same time.
Yeah.
How do you make a boring segment more boring?
Right.
Like, it's like you just suck all of the energy out of the room. Like, and to quote Ollie Davis, the mid-card vortex king, as he calls it, the mid-card vortex. That's him.
Yeah. Right.
I just go and grab me something to drink or something to eat when he's on, and I just go and eat, and that's it. Like, is he gone yet?
I've seen on social media where other people pretty much do the same thing when Corbin's on their screen, but it's that.
I mean, go away heat is good, but if they're actually going away because they don't want to see you, something's wrong.
Right.
Even JBL can't even save you, and he's good at what he does.
Exactly. But anyway, I'm sure we'll talk even more about that whole situation this upcoming Sunday when we talk about this week's show. So we move on from there to the VIP lounge, and MVP has United States champion Austin Theory as his guest. MVP trying to stir up the pot and saying that Theory still has unfinished business with Bobby Lashley, even though Theory just beat Lashley the previous week on Raw's 30, thanks to Brock Lesnar. Ends up bringing out Bobby Lashley, but Bobby and Theory start fighting a little bit, and Lashley goes for a spear. Theory actually moves out the way, and MVP eats the spear as Theory takes a walk.
It's so sad to see what MVP has become now.
Yeah, I hate to spoil things since we're not talking about it till Sunday, but they don't even mention anything about that segment this week on Raw. It's like it never even happened. We've seen all three of those guys on the screen at different points during Raw this week, but they never once really brought up the fact that MVP got speared by Lashley last week.
To quote the great Sami Zayn, you had been relegated to being nothing more than everybody's bitch.
Well, I mean, if it ends up in the end game what it's supposed to, we might feel differently about MVP, but we'll see.
Like, MVP used to be a force, dude.
It's true.
He used to be a great United States champion. Every time he went on there on the screen, it was fucking gold.
It must see pretty much.
He probably has the most talked about theme song now. You know what I mean? People loved his theme song, both of them.
Right.
Like, you know how many fucking people that I heard like going, we bowling, straight up bowling. I'm like, you're not though. Stop it.
Right.
But just stop, dude. Just stop. You look stupid. Don't. And it's just like it just triggered me in the craziest way. And now look at him. He's just a manager that gets punked out by everybody. Walking around with a fucking cane, pretending to be injured. I mean, if Bob Orton can do it all his career, I don't see why anyone else can't. Still.
Right.
But you're not Bob Orton, MVP.
Exactly.
Just saying.
Anyway,
Bob Orton was actually talented. But anyway.
We go on from there. Byron Saxton, they show backstage talking to Finn Balor with Judgment Day about the main event match coming up. That'll be Cody in his first match back on Raw against Finn Balor. And then from there, nothing really important happened in that backstage promo. We get The Miz out in the arena again. Miz complaining because, as he has been lately, he's not getting shown any respect. He's not getting time to do this and that. And where's his time on the card because he has to make his own. And Miz is in a suit, by the way. Keep that in mind here. Adam Pearce comes out, and Miz happened to mention something about wrestling. Adam says, I just so happen to have somebody that's been knocking on my door all day wanting a match. So you're in a match right now. Makes a match. The Miz faces the returning Rick Boogs. I personally was expecting somebody else to be the opponent here.
Yeah, but, I rolled my eyes when I seen that. I'm like, oh god. Like, who the hell let Dalton Castle in here?
Wow. I don't think I would compare those two really, but okay.
Just better. Like, Dalton Castle is actually better. But, you know.
I say Rick Boogs is if you want to compare him to Dalton Castle, he's a bigger version of Dalton Castle.
Pretty much, yeah.
Muscular.
But it's like, I just honestly don't give a shit about Rick Boogs.
And Boogs pretty much squashed Miz, a former WWE champion, or former 2-time Grand Slam champion, let me reiterate. Miz
Longest
was
reigning Intercontinental Champion, a man that tied with Chris Jericho's record for the most Intercontinental titles won, loses to a fucking brand new face that nobody gives a shit about, Rick Boogs.
Yeah, I personally would rather seen Boogs return with Shinsuke Nakamura and just be the tag team again because I thought they were great together. And I always enjoyed when Boogs was performing Shin's theme song on his guitar. So, but that's me personally.
You know that concert where Nickelback was in there and saying, "You guys want to hear a song?" They threw something at him, and he said, "No, we're just gonna leave. Bye." Pretty much, that's what it was when Rick Boogs was out there. I just wanted to throw something, like, just dude, like, can I throw you, please? Like Rick Boogs, can I throw you the hell out of here, please? Thank you. Can we have Kane like roll him off the stage, please? That'd be nice.
Well, speaking of doing that, that's kind of the person that he has done that to before. Is who I was expecting to be in that match. That being Mr. Woo, Woo, Woo.
Oh, don't even get... No, I'm not even going to talk about that right now. When we get to that.
We haven't seen him back yet. But
after what's going on with Chelsea Green, I don't blame him.
Yeah, well.
Really?
We move on from that match, if that's what you want to call it. The Alpha Academy backstage talking and Maximum Male Models are there as well. And Maxine Dupree seems to be interested in having Otis join the Maximum Male Models for some reason. All right, we move on from that. Bayley comes out and talking and bragging about how she's gotten better at Becky and eliminated Becky in the Royal Rumble. Becky comes out and says, "Hey, Bayley, I want my steel cage match that we were supposed to have last week." And Bayley says, "What, are you crazy? No, I'm not giving it to you." So Becky drags out Dakota Kai with a chair around her ankle and asks Bayley, "What's it going to be? Am I breaking the ankle, or are you giving me the steel cage match?" Which Bayley gives in and gives the match to her.
That was a good segment. That was good.
It was really good.
That was believable. It was viable, and those two, like, a lot of people are bitching about Bayley not winning the women's title. Like, she doesn't need to win the title to keep relevant. She's proven it time and time again. Like, Bayley just needs to go out there and do Bayley shit, and she'll be fine. And my guess is this is going to lead into the Elimination Chamber. And eventually, I think those two are going to feud to WrestleMania.
We'll see. Rumor has it there might be a 6-woman tag team match at Elimination Chamber now, so with Damage Control. But I'm not going to go into that one too much yet. We'll wait until Sunday to go more into that one. But yeah, that was a good segment. Some people might have had an issue with babyface Becky bringing out Dakota with a steel chair around her and kind of using her as bait, but
I mean, not every face has to be that dumb face that does dumbass stuff,
right? All right, from there they moved on to Kathy Kelly talking backstage with Adam Pearce, and that's when we get the Chelsea Green appearance, asking if Adam's the manager and all that jazz.
The Karen Green.
Yep. That's what it's gonna be, a Karen character, from what it sounds like.
If I was Matt Cardona, I would roll my eyes and say, dude, I would be burning all of my Zack Ryder stuff that I've ever made and be like, fuck this company.
I don't think he'll do that, but anywho, they move on from that to showing from earlier in the day in the backstage, Byron Saxton talking to Dolph Ziggler, and Mustafa Ali comes in as Dolph and Ali have this weird, whatever you want to call it, back and forth thing, because Dolph's getting another opportunity handed it to him to be in a qualifying match for the Elimination Chamber, and Ali gets nothing. The whole point of the segment.
Yeah,
leading into the match, what's that?
I said, but Ziggler deserves it.
True. Leading into the match, Dolph Ziggler versus Bronson Reed. Honestly, this wasn't one of Dolph's better matches in my opinion, but I know it was mostly supposed to showcase Bronson Reed, who did end up winning, of course. But it just didn't feel like the typical Dolph Ziggler type of match you would see.
Yeah, there's a perfectly healthy Mustafa Ali right there. You could have just done that to him, right?
Right. That's what I was thinking.
Like Dolph Ziggler could have been. They're kind of put a little bit of spotlight on him, but it's like, and they wonder why nobody takes him seriously. Like this is like, I'm like, dude, you may as well just go back and like manage Kerwin White again. At this point,
yeah, pretty much.
Like, what the hell is going on?
On the flip side, I am interested in seeing what a guy like Bronson Reed can do inside the Elimination Chamber, but to just feed Dolph Ziggler pretty much to him, it just didn't seem right.
Now don't get me wrong, I did enjoy watching Bronson Reed showcase his power and stuff, but as someone who already knows what Bronson Reed's capable of, I expected a little bit more.
Yeah,
I expected a banger match from both of them, especially the caliber of Dolph, and it's disappointing. Right. It's disappointing, but decent, and like you said, I am looking forward to seeing what he's going to do in the chamber.
Yeah. I mean, usually big guys are pretty dominant for the most part in those type of matches, but we'll see what happens.
Someone's going through the plexiglass.
Probably. From there, we move on. They mentioned the Fatal 4-Way match that would be coming up yesterday now, but coming up on Raw. And the return of Carmella after 7 months off TV, as Kathy Kelly talks to Carmella backstage, but they're interrupted by a unique-looking Asuka, is the way I'll put it. The outfit she was wearing, normal clothes, I guess you could say, but it's not something you'd see.
She had some fantastic assets.
Yes.
I like this new creepy Asuka. I really like it. Where she doesn't like say anything, she just looks and starts smiling and laughing and just looks at you.
And not only just smiling and laughing at her, but the mist coming down the chin, and
it's so good
in this segment.
I really like this.
Nice. Yeah. So much better than the Asuka we did have.
Hopefully they actually have plans for her this WrestleMania. Her not losing again.
I hope to God not.
What is she, 0-2 at Mania?
Is she? I know she lost to Charlotte.
I don't think she's ever won at Mania.
Now you're gonna make me look it up. Whoops, I don't want to do that. I want to say she. I'm gonna double check. Ah, crap. Went away. Because I had the wrong button. At least I'm still here, though. And...
yeah, unlike me yesterday when I clicked the wrong tab.
Right?
Don't do what I did yesterday now. You click the wrong tab and goes out the dang thing.
She is 0-3 at WrestleMania.
That's tragic.
I agree.
She has got to get a win. She's got to get one.
0-3. I thought it was Russ. No, it says 0-3, but must be Alexa and. Okay, yeah, and Alexa and Nikki won the tag titles from Asuka and Kairi Sane at WrestleMania in 2020. That's what that was.
Like,
I was saying it was the other way around.
You can't say you trust somebody when you've got a win in every Big Four event except one big one.
The big one, honestly.
The absolute big one, the mother of all the big ones. Right. It's like that's gotta be disappointing. You know what I mean? It's like you gotta be thinking, why don't they trust me? It's like I went undefeated for a year. And
over a year.
You bring me on your main roster to lose to Omni Flair on the biggest event after you handed me the Rumble win and did nothing with me since.
Right.
When we all know how great she is.
Exactly. I mean, we've seen it in NXT.
Yep, and we've seen it on the main roster too, the times that she actually got to shine.
Right.
I mean, for fuck's sakes, she went toe-to-toe with the Yoshihiro Tajiri.
Yeah.
Like, do you think she can't handle herself against the man with the master of kicks and strikes? She went toe-to-toe with him in glasses.
Nice.
And kicked his face off. I don't know if you ever seen that match before, but Kana versus Tajiri. Kana versus Tajiri and the schoolgirl outfit she was wearing in that match. I'm just going to say this. I'm leaving it alone. Because she looked there and she put her glasses down and she started smiling in there. And I'm like, me happy. But she backed it up too, and that's what the thing. She went toe-to-toe with Tajiri, man. And that you go from that to losing to Charlotte.
Yeah. Well, Charlotte's the golden girl, so I mean,
the golden goose, as rotten as those freaking golden eggs are. I mean, sometimes there's no denying, though. There's no denying that. You can't deny that Charlotte does have a lot of talent.
True.
And she can back it up.
True.
When given the right opponents. But anyway.
Yeah.
Unless it's a Ronda Rousey match, because we all know Ronda Rousey's bad and like cringely bad. Like Great Khali bad. Not that bad. Go God, no.
I was just going to say, no.
Not that bad. Not that bad.
Anywho.
Yeah. Sorry to give you guys PTSD because that's my fault.
Right. Anyway, after the whole Asuka scaring off Carmella, they went to Rick Boogs and the Street Profits and Elias, and Byron Saxton come in and mentions that Angelo Dawkins would be facing Damian Priest next week on Raw in an Elimination Chamber qualifying match, and Elias would go one-on-one with Montez Ford. So there's talk of Boogs and Elias perhaps doing like a guitar off at some point, but we'll see what happens with that. From there, we go into the main event match as Cody Rhodes is back in action, teaming, going one-on-one with Finn Balor. This was definitely the match of the night on Raw, in my opinion. Of course, you got the rest of Judgment Day out there, Priest, Mysterio, Ripley. They got a little bit involved, but that also led to Edge and Beth Phoenix coming out and getting involved, and Rhea eating a second spear in 2 nights. Rhea, I think, took a bigger spear here than she did at the Royal Rumble, though. I felt like Beth hit it even harder that time. In the end, Cody hits Crossroads, of course, and gets the win, as he can't have the Royal Rumble winner lose. But for that matter, Cody Rhodes is still undefeated since he's returned to WWE. So, just putting that out there.
We want Stardust.
What?
We want Stardust. I want, if he doesn't come out as Stardust at WrestleMania, I'm gonna be mad.
Why?
He'll be half Stardust, half American Nightmare.
Okay, that'd be interesting.
Just because. And then he could do what he normally does, right? He'll do the Stardust thing and then go back and do that and then just flip off the crowd. And just take it off.
Yeah, that'd work.
But, you know, as much as I want to be like your typical WWE stooge and hate on Cody, I'm actually going to be the logical one here and say this match was good. This match was a fucking banger.
Right?
Like, he's proven time and time again he can do bangers no matter where he's at.
And let me point out, this was the first time ever that Finn Balor and Cody Rhodes have faced each other as well. So,
such a good match. Those two had such chemistry together. Like, those two have great chemistry. Like, they have like Sammy Guevara and Cody levels of chemistry.
ooh, good comparison.
Like, a lot of people don't give that match credit. But Sammy and him put some freaking bangers.
Yeah, and I would say their ladder match was really good they had against each other.
Oh my God. I thought they were going to die.
Right?
I'm like, Cody, stop. Don't die, man. Does this turn into a Darby Allin match? Jesus Christ. But anyway. Yeah, I think they're playing. I think my complaint was in the Rumble, them being too safe with Cody.
Yeah.
I think they're still doing it. I think they're just being too safe because they don't want him to get injured. And I'm like, you wouldn't do this with anybody else?
Right.
And you're banking a lot on him. And that's a lot. What if things can go wrong between now and Mania?
That might be why they're kind of taking it safe too. Then, you know,
it's just. I think that they're just doing. I'm going to go the Daniel Bryan route here and say I think they're playing too safe. Way too safe. They got to take some risks. I know he just came back. Like, you make him go number 30, which to me was just bullshit. Then you give him the main event with Finn, which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you thought I was going to say that was bullshit? No, that was actually a banger.
Right.
Definitely match of the night for sure. Not that there was much.
I know. Yeah, I'll do a rating here. I think I'd give maybe I'll say 7 out of 10.
You are too nice. You are too generous. You are way too generous.
I was thinking about 6.5, actually, really, but
I feel like they really could have capitalized on a lot of other things that happened at the Rumble.
Yeah.
And I feel like they missed a lot of opportunities to capitalize on some things.
Mm-hmm.
Because Seth Rollins lost to Logan Paul. And if he was to lose to Chad Gable, he could get really pissed.
Right.
And probably challenge Logan Paul.
Yeah, they could have built off of that.
And blame him for it.
Right.
And that's just something I just named off the cuff. And I don't even make money. I don't even make money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
not
I
like
get you.
JD from New York. I'm not gonna like suck dick and kiss ass, but I'm damn sure not gonna just sit here and say it was good, like Meltzer, because there was a lot of problems. But I'll give it a 6, just to be nice.
All right, fair enough.
The main event made up for it. That was really good.
Right.
That one was a banger. Banger of the night for sure. Maybe even banger of the week.
So we'll move on. NXT. It was a go home show before Takeover, before Vengeance Day anyway.
Which I did see.
Good. And we kicked off with the Creed brothers versus Indus Sher with Jinder Mahal in their corner. It was a really good tag team match to start off the show. I don't know if I'd say surprised by who won this match, but I don't know. I don't know how I felt about it really. With Indus Sher actually got the win, but I was a little bit expecting the Creed brothers to win here personally.
It's just good to see. I enjoy seeing Jinder back on NXT. To be honest,
Yeah. I mean, at least he's
a
doing
lot
something.
a lot of people forget this, but he's an NXT original.
And he is.
So he can teach.
He was in the
guys.
finals of the NXT Championship tournament too at one point.
Yeah, so he can teach these new guys a thing or four, you know?
Right. But I felt like it was a really good tag team match. So from there, they moved on to Zoe Stark versus Indy Hartwell. And I mentioned this yesterday when we were talking about NXT and Indy. It seems like all she's there for now in NXT is to job. She put up a hell of a fight against Zoe, but in the end, Zoe did hit her. I don't know what exactly they call it, but I'd say it's kind of a reverse GTS in a way to get the win. Devastating move is what it is. I don't know if you had anything to take from that match other than that, but
it's just sad to see what Indy Hartwell has become now.
Right.
It just depresses me. It makes me like want to go and like jog. Just watching an Indy Hartwell match just makes me want to just go outside and just like jog or walk.
Right.
Because it's just too depressing.
I get that. Maybe what she needs, and maybe this is what they all need, is to kind of I was gonna say rebuild, but that's not exactly the word I was looking for. Reconnect, I guess, in a way. Redo the way, if you will, except for minus a person, but have Indy and Candice and Johnny and Dexter back as a faction. Maybe that would help things out, but I don't know for sure if that will or not. So it could help possibly, but I'm just throwing something at the wall.
Like that made me just want to like literally just go smoke. Because I was just too depressed. After that, I turned it off and didn't watch it. After that, like dead ass. I was like, dude, I'm done. So I just like, fuck this, I'm done, and just stop watching.
So from there, though, they went to Wesley and Dijak were in the ring talking about their upcoming North American title match, and Von Wagner gets involved in it as well. And Wesley actually instigated the next match we would get. Dijak going one-on-one with Von Wagner with Mr. Stone in his corner. This was a really good match between two big guys. These two guys hit each other with everything they had, pretty much. But in the end, Dijak would pick up the victory with the feast your eyes on Von Wagner, which was expected in my opinion because he was obviously getting the title match that upcoming Saturday. So
all right. Thing is about this, I really like this new Dijakovic.
Dijak.
Yep. AKA Dijak.
Yep.
I like the name. I like the theme.
Right.
I like the entrance. I like his moves. But there was one call I didn't agree with, which I'll get to later.
We're not talking about Vengeance Day today. We're going to wait and do that on Sunday, by the way, just an FYI.
Oh, yeah. I got a lot to say on Sunday, too. But, yeah.
Because I haven't watched Vengeance Day yet, still. Plan on doing that tomorrow.
Oh, I have. Unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
Yeah,
I've seen what happened to Dijak. I'll put that out there. But
I'll talk more about that Sunday.
Yeah.
We'll leave that alone.
We'll move on from that then. We got Tyler Bate versus Axiom, which was set up in the back earlier in the show. Tyler mentioning how Axiom reminds him a lot of A-Kid. And there was somebody else that was involved in that backstage segment too. I can't remember who it was, but they mentioned that Axiom did remind him of A-Kid as well. Funny part is, we all know, or most people know, that is A-Kid under the mask as Axiom. But I'm just surprised.
No, really? I had no idea.
Right?
It's like I'm more sad about that than the day I found out that the Hurricane was Gregory Helms.
Right. But anyway, Tyler and Axiom would have a really good match. They've had great matches in NXT UK, so I wasn't surprised by that. In the end, the Tyler driver gets the 1-2-3. Tyler Bate picks up the win as he's building momentum since his return to NXT. Axiom could have used a win there in a way, but I understand why they're wanting to build up Tyler back after losing the NXT UK title to Bound Breaker. So, and then we get the NXT debut of Stevie Turner as she goes up against the nobody named Danny Palmer. I guess she's not technically a nobody, but still. Pretty much what you would figure from a debut match in NXT. Stevie gets all of her good stuff in, picks up the win. Not much else to say about that, really. I do enjoy the Stevie Turner promos that they do with her, like how she interrupts people and does stuff from her own studio, pretty much. Those are pretty fun to watch. But definitely a unique character. Put it that way. We'll move on from there. You got Charlie Dempsey versus Drew Gulak with Hank Walker. I was pretty impressed with this technical match that they had. In the end, Drew Gulak picks up the win. Little shenanigans there. You said you stopped watching, so I assume you don't have much to say about either one of those two matches or three matches.
I didn't watch those matches. I was in and out for NXT, to be honest. I was in and out.
Gotcha.
I was doing stuff.
Well, then maybe you've seen parts of this match, the main event, the triple threat match, New Day Invitational, where the winning team would join in and be the fourth team in the Fatal 4-Way match for the NXT Tag Team titles. We got Rip Fowler and Jagger Reed of Schism against Malik Blade and Idris Anafi and Duke Hudson and Andre Chase of Chase U.
All right. It's good to see the New Day doing this, and because a lot of people were pissed about the New Day winning the tag team belts. I think it's very smart.
Right.
I think it was very smart because it puts a big name. It has a big name that has the tag team belts, and it's going to put more eyes on the tag team titles.
Yeah,
but
and
put more eyes on the brand.
right.
So, in my opinion, it was very smart. It's like, I know there's a lot of other tag teams out there that could have done it, but would you care if it was anybody else?
No,
I wouldn't.
not really.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't care. Yeah, I wouldn't care if somebody like Alpha Academy wore it and won it. I wouldn't care
Right.
if like Judgment Day won it. I probably would, but
But not as
the
much
new
for me.
but the New Day is perfect for it because they got the charisma. They can teach those young guys some things,
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was smart.
Right.
I think the main event was smart too.
It was. The dyad / schism, whichever you want to call them, really showed out in this match and had great moments. But in the end, Duke Hudson would actually get the win for him and Andre Chase, when he pinned Jagger Reed. So after a devastating move that they used too. But I was definitely surprised by that. I thought for sure the dyad probably was going to end up winning. But instead, no, we get the little curveball there, and Chase University is actually going on to the Fatal 4-Way match at Vengeance Day for the NXT Tag Team titles to join the Tamps, the New Day, and the two other challengers, Gallus and Pretty Deadly, which we see all three of those teams, two of the three in the arena, New Day on the Titantron after the match. New Day congratulating Chase U on their win. Yeah, that was it for NXT, pretty much. I mean, at points they showed different things to lead up to the NXT Championship match coming up at Vengeance Day, the Steel Cage match, but nothing important worth mentioning, really. I would give NXT is a little bit hard to grade sometimes too, but I'd say 6.5 probably out of 10. It was a pretty decent show, but nothing outstanding other than that main event match, really.
I didn't watch enough of it to really give an accurate grade.
That's fine. I just give it mine. All right, move on to Dynamite. Dynamite kicked off with a bang, so as to speak. Jon Moxley comes out, his hometown, an hour away from Dayton, Ohio, where they were. John has his dad and Wheeler Yuta coming through the crowd with him, but then they just disappear as Hangman comes out and Moxley meets him at the entranceway, and they brawl, and Moxley ends up getting busted open, shock, surprise, wow, before the match even gets underway, really. Mox and Hangman had a very physical match here, which was to be expected in this third match between these two.
All right. Here's a challenge for you. Take a shot every time Jon Moxley gets busted open during a match.
I think it'd be easy to get wasted doing that.
It's like Ric Flair, for God's sakes. Every match he's in gets busted open. Who gets busted open on a chop? What?
Right? It's crazy. But yeah, like I said, these two beat the living hell out of each other in this match. Moxley manages to squeak out the victory. It's the best way to put it. It wasn't a definitive win by any means. After the match,
run it back.
What's that?
I said they're definitely going to run it back.
Oh yeah. After the match, I mean, Hangman gets back up, and you get Claudio and Wheeler out there, and Hangman's pushing these guys and back and forth, and the one finger salute from Hangman to Moxley and vice versa, and you could definitely tell things aren't over between Mox and Hangman anyway.
Ooh, wow. Are we actually going to get something in AEW that we haven't got? An actual story? Since when has hell froze over? Has time completely stopped? Are we actually going to get a story?
Right. From there, anything else you want to mention about that match before I move on?
I actually have nothing to say about that match. It was a good match.
Yeah, it was a really good match.
It was a good match.
We'll move on. Renee Paquette backstage talking to the Bunny and AEW Women's World Champion Jamie Hayter. Bunny wants a shot at Jamie. She'll get a chance in a contenders match. But also while they're talking, we see on the screen behind them, Soraya and Toni Storm are beating up Britt Baker backstage in a different area. Yeah. So Jamie goes off to try and find that, and you don't never see Britt really again the rest of the night.
I'm just so over that.
Yeah.
I'm just over it. That's all I'm gonna say. Just over it.
Fair enough. We'll get more into it, I'm sure, eventually, but
no, I'm just over it. You'll find out why I'm saying I'm over it when we get to it.
Fair.
Because that ruined my whole entire mood when that happened.
Gotcha. So we move on. You get the Acclaimed out for a tag match, and they face two enhancement talents. They might have mentioned their names, but I didn't catch them, so I can't tell you.
I fucking love the Acclaimed. I do. Yeah. I've always liked the Acclaimed. Like, I've always liked them. Like, Max Caster has such fucking charisma when he's out there.
That's true.
He reminds me a lot of John Cena and B2.
Right. I mean, I don't always agree with what he has to say in some of his raps, but I agree. He's very charismatic.
That dude is so good, man. And the crowd loves him.
The crowd loves both of them, really. Well, all three of them. Can't forget Daddy Ass.
Daddy who?
Of course. Daddy Ass.
Oh, you mean the old man you mean the old man that follows everybody around? You mean that one? Okay.
Yeah, that one.
What is it? What is this? Dementia number 5? They're like, Dad, Billy Gunn's having a dementia attack again.
Of course, after the match, you get.
He took his medicine. He did. Damn it, Billy. Go take your damn medicine.
Right.
But I don't need my medicine. Yes, you do. You've been following these kids around all day. It's like Herbert up in here. Anyway, go ahead.
Anyway, afterwards, you get Colton and Austin Gunn coming out there. They want their tag team title shot. The Acclaim say no. And then they start taking shots at Billy because Billy just gets frustrated with everything going on and decides to leave. And Colton and Austin just pushed Billy's buttons to the point that he actually comes back storming into the ring and accepts the title match. And the Acclaim did not look too thrilled with the fact that Billy said, hey, you guys want it? You got the tag team title match.
Gonna be honest with you. Can we like not ever? Like, can we not? Like, can we not? Like, with the Ass Boys and the fucking Acclaim, can we not? Like, let's just not ever. Like, no. We've seen this match already. Like, we've seen this story already. It's stupid.
I'm worried.
The Acclaim is so above that. Like, this just seems like it's a step back.
Yeah. Well, I'm afraid that what's going to end up happening is Billy's going to turn on the Acclaimed and help his boys win the tag titles, honestly. And that
see what I mean?
All along.
Yeah, and then it's going to be, once again, a step back. It's like one step forward, 5 steps back. Right. Good story, wrong people.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, that's fine. I get where you're
I'm
coming from.
saving. Trust me. There's a storm building. Trust me.
Yeah, I'm sure. We move on. I know because of the main event. We'll get into it.
Oh, I'm
We
not
go
gonna say
on. Alex Marvez talking backstage with Jungle Boy Jack Perry, asking him about if he thinks there's going to be a future with the Hook as a team. And Jungle Boy says, "That's tag team thing before. I'm looking to go solo. I'm looking for those goals." It's great to
that.
hear. We go some goal.
So let me tell you this about Jungle
Not
Boy
that
real quick.
Jungle Hook wasn't a good team. What?
Jungle Boy is so fucking boring. He's boring to me. Like his character that he's doing is just really fucking boring. And people just get hyped to see him because of his entrance.
Theme song, yeah.
You're more than an entrance, dude. What about your in-ring ability? Like, I've seen, okay, he's not boring as in he can't wrestle, because the dude obviously can wrestle, but I've seen far better people do the same thing, more entertaining.
I get that.
That's all I'm going to say. I've seen better. That's all you're going to get from me.
All right, well, we'll move on. The next match, you got Konosuke Takeshita versus Brian Cage. And, I mean, Takeshita's had some pretty good matches since he's come to AEW, but I felt like this one was maybe one of, if not his best match that we've seen on AEW so far. Maybe it's partially because he actually won, but him and Brian Cage had a really good match, I thought.
Oh, dude. Like, mwah, just chef's kiss. Those two, the chemistry is just so good together. Like, Brian Cage continues to get better and better every time he's in the ring. And it's like, he continues to get overlooked. He continues to get overlooked. And it's so annoying. You know?
Right.
Push this man. Put a title on him, please. You have only 50,000 titles in the company. I'm sure you can give him one.
I know, right? Well, he is a champion. I mean, it's just not in AEW. He's a Ring of Honor World 6-man tag team champion, or trios champion.
Why is he getting the better? Why is he looking better than Wheeler Yuta right now? What the hell?
Right? The pure dance.
Yuta's so good though. Like he's really good.
Yes. But yeah, like I said, really good match. Great match between those two. I think it feels like they're planning on doing something big with Takeshita with what we eventually find out later on as well. But we'll see what we've been seeing over the last few weeks. After that match, Renee Paquette would go backstage to the Jericho Appreciation Society, who we find out from are setting up the Garcia Guevara Gauntlet Challenge. Ricky Starks has to face Angelo Parker, Matt Menard, and then either Sammy Guevara or Daniel Garcia, whoever they choose. It has to be all of them. And I don't remember if Jake Hager was part of that or not, but he has to beat all of them in order to get another match against Chris Jericho, a guy who Ricky has already beaten, mind you.
Why are you making the demands when you lost to the dude?
Right?
Like, who the hell are you to make demands? You lost. Now he has to play by your rules. It would make better. Like, storyline wise, it makes no sense.
I agree.
You lost. You shouldn't have a say. You fucking lost.
Right.
It would have made better sense if you won. And I think that's probably where it kind of like where they kind of got it confused. I think they thought they won like 2 weeks ago. Did you get beat so badly you thought you won? Like, I
Right?
talk about Billy Gunn looking lost with his dementia brain, but I think Jericho, I think you got dementia too. Just a little bit.
Perhaps.
I think you
But
took one too many thumbtacks to the back of the head. Anyway.
I have to agree with something I've seen on social media. Aren't we already doing this, though, with another storyline in AEW? Bryan Danielson has to go through like 5 other guys. He has to beat them before he can get an AEW world title shot. Hello? We're already doing this story.
You gotta do it right. It's not just hello. It's ding dong, hello.
I know, right? But
we're doing
like,
that already. We've seen this before.
Right.
Like ding dong, hello.
Sure, all in one night instead of over 4 or 5 weeks, but it's the same concept.
The difference, though, is the Danielson matches are actually interesting.
True.
Because it's putting some really good spotlight on some very talented people.
Right.
Not taking anything away from Jericho Appreciation Society, but what have they actually done aside just lose all the time?
Not enough.
We have Jake Hager, who has yet to get a win in the company at all. Like,
pretty much.
He lost, like, he's never won an MMA fight in a cage, like, in AEW. Like, right. What are you doing, kid? We have 2 former tag teams that used to be ex-WWE guys, and now they're in AEW and it's done nothing. Being treated like a young talent, like people that are just coming up when they've been in the game for almost 7 years, 8 years, something like that. Yeah. And we got Jericho, who's just Jericho. So,
right. I don't know.
I ain't got a bad thing to say about Jericho because it's fucking Chris Jericho. But anyway.
Yeah. Well, we'll move on. Then we go to the Elite with Don Callis as well, and Nakazawa and Brandon back there, hyping up their upcoming trios championship defense. By the way, you weren't on here. I gotta know, what did you take of the whole Elite Death Triangle ladder match from a couple weeks ago?
I was fucking speechless. In a good way.
Right.
In a good way. I was speechless. Now, I'm not saying that the Young Bucks aren't talented when they actually fucking try. You know what I mean? When they don't have some dorky ass gimmicks that don't fit them. When it's not like 20 million super kicks and 20,000 pile drivers.
Right.
That was an actual good, believable match.
That's great.
That wasn't 20 million super kicks. Leave the super kicks to the Usos. They do it way better. But I literally watched a grown-ass man get handcuffed to the ring and super kick for 2.5 minutes and felt everything. But anyway, you can't do that, Young Bucks. Killing the business, yeah. If you keep doing those matches the way you're doing it in that ladder match, yeah, you're definitely killing the business in a good way.
Right.
More like killing it in the business, because I can only name on a few hands, on like one hand, like the amount of really good matches that left me speechless. And that was their cage match.
Mm-hmm.
I think, and they were up against the Death Triangle, so it's no surprise.
Right. Exactly.
The Young Bucks and the Lucha Brothers kill it every time. And it's very funny. It's quite fitting that it would end the same way it began.
Right.
A couple of years back.
Yeah.
It began with the ladder match, and it ends with the ladder match. With the opposite results.
Right.
So yeah, I loved it. I'm actually gushing over that. I can gush over that all the time because those two always kill it. They're my New Day and Usos of AEW.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like for real. It's the feud that never ends, man. This feud's never gonna end.
Yeah, I think the New Day Uso rivalry is a great comparison for the Young Bucks and Lucha Bros.
Yeah, those guys kill it, man. Every time, dude.
But back to the case in point, the Elite was backstage talking about their upcoming title defense, as they'll be defending those trios titles this week on Dynamite against I just drew a blank. AR Fox and Top Flight. But they're going to be doing anything this week, which brought in Ethan Page, Stokely Hathaway, Matt Hardy, and Isaiah Cassidy, as they say, hey, we're not busy. You guys aren't busy. Why don't you put those titles online against us on Rampage? So builds up the Young Bucks and Matt Hardy have a little bit of history, as we know. So they'll build off of that to get that trios match. A little interesting back and forth that they had on that basketball court anyway, leading to that match.
I'm just gonna say this, like, how about no? Can we not? Like, can we like not? It's 2023, not 2004. Like, come on now, stop.
What's your issue?
Look, I'm looking at my clock right now. It's stop o'clock. It's calling you, Matt Hardy. Stop.
Got issues with Matt Hardy, do you?
No, it's just these dorky, like this dorky ass storyline that he's got, like these dumb storylines that he's been in the last these last few weeks. Like all you're gonna do is lose. So what's the point? That's all you do is lose.
But anyway, we'll move on from that. You can talk more about that in a little bit. We get Bryan Danielson's next match in this series that he's in to lead to this AEW World Title match against Timothy Thatcher. I don't know about you, and I don't know about everybody that watches, but I've seen a lot of Thatcher in NXT, and I've seen some of it from even before NXT. And if you hadn't seen Timothy Thatcher before this, then you got a pretty good idea in this match what Timothy Thatcher is capable of.
Dude,
in the ring.
Can I mention how much I fucking love Timothy Thatcher?
Sure.
And I forgot how good he really was.
Right.
And then he reminded me in this match, yeah, I'm fucking good. Don't you forget it.
Right.
I fucking loved his storyline with Tommaso Ciampa. But him being alone by himself here, even if this is a one-off thing, which it better not be. It better not be a one-off thing. If it is a one-off thing, I could understand maybe he'll go to Ring of Honor. But somebody better sign him. He's fucking good. He's really good. Yeah. And for him, I mean, yeah, I kind of had an idea he wasn't going to win, but I still felt like he was going to win. I still felt like
there was times it looked like Thatcher was going to win.
Yeah. Even though I knew he wasn't going to, I still, he made it believable that he was going to win. And I liked it. I absolutely loved it. That it takes a true professional to do that. And this match alone was just, to me, should have been a main event.
I agree. I definitely agree on that one.
I'm not even mad about it's not even the fact of what happened, but it's just this match was just killer.
Though honestly, going into the show, I felt like Moxley and Page should have been the main event with the build up to it, but at the ending that we seen, I was kind of glad it didn't end up being the main event. But
that was such a hard hitting match, dude. Like that match was hard hitting. I felt all those hits, man. I'm like, can y'all stop, please? You're gonna make me hurt.
Right?
Like you're gonna make the bruise. You're gonna make bruises appear on me. Like,
right.
what are you doing?
For that Danielson and Thatcher match, one thing I want to point out, at a point during the match, referee did get taken out, and MJF did sneak his way out and put on the diamond ring, only to be stopped by Konosuke Takeshita as they brawled to the back, leading in towards the finish where Brian got the running knee and got the 1-2-3. We go from there, though. MJF and Takeshita still fighting in the back. Referees, trainers, security all trying to separate them. Renee comes in and says, per Tony Khan, next week on Dynamite, it'll be MJF versus Takeshita in a world title eliminator match. So, MJF warned Takeshita a week or two ago not to meddle in his business, but Takeshita is still getting in MJF's business and now gets himself a match against MJF. So, there's that. MJF was not happy about that at all. He says, I didn't even agree to this. But he's got the match nonetheless.
You're world champion, so suck it up, Buttercup.
Right? Move on from there to a Swerve Strickland and Mogo Affiliates video interview. Just talking about everything going on with Dustin and the upcoming match against Brian Pillman Jr. on Dynamite, or on Rampage, I mean.
Just one question. Swerve,
What's
is your contract up yet?
I have a feeling it's not for a while still.
Like, dude, like, you're so much better than this, dude. Like, what are you doing? You're literally taking the same gimmick you used in NXT and just using it in AEW.
Yeah, in a way, yeah.
It's literally the same thing minus rapping.
Right.
So stupid. Such a waste of time.
Yeah, kind of is.
Like, I just see him just wasting away on that roster. Like, it's like I can see portions of his body decomposing in front of me because he's so wasted. I can see like the very fabric of time and space on where he's standing disappearing and turning to dust.
Yeah.
Every time he's in the ring.
Yeah. Anyway.
But that's just me.
From there, we go to Lexington in locker room with Roosh and Jose the Assistant and Preston Vance, as Roosh will be Bryan Danielson's next opponent this week on Dynamite. MJF comes in with a briefcase full of cash and says this is the down payment if Roosh can eliminate Bryan Danielson pretty much, take him out of action next week, then he'll have, 3 or 4 more cases full of cash for him. If they can make it so that Bryan Danielson can't make it to the pay-per-view. MJF's trying to bribe himself out of a match again. Imagine that.
Part of his whole gimmick. Huh.
Right. Move from that to Red Velvet versus Jade Cargill for the TBS Championship. That's all I got to say about that. Jade wins. She's
another boring-ass Jade Cargill match. Get used to that.
Right. And then they go backstage. Renee actually does talk with Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter in the trainer's room. And Ruby Soho comes in there and tells Britt that she didn't need her help last week. She didn't know why Britt decided to come out there when she did. But she didn't need it. And pretty much Britt told her, hey, Ruby, you got to pick a side here. Either you're with them or you're with us in this whole rivalry. That was the gist of that.
I'm getting some Team Bad versus Team Revolution vibes from this shit.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like, but who's Soho supposed to be, Tamina or Naomi? No, she can be the Becky Lynch. always getting betrayed.
That I could see, unfortunately, but I could see that. All right. You've been waiting for it, so I guess now it's time to go into it. The main event of Dynamite. Samoa Joe, Darby Allin, no holds barred for the TNT Championship. Go ahead.
You know, you built up that title for 3.5 weeks. You put it on Darby Allin just for him to fucking lose to Samoa Joe just so you could build a fucking story with Wardlow again. Are you fucking serious? And excuse me for completely getting the energy sucked out when, I don't know, you could have used that title on Darby Allin. Why is it always got to be Darby that gets fucked over, huh? Is he the new Cody?
Wow.
Is that what you're doing now? You're going to use him the same way you use Cody? No wonder Cody left. And I would actually be pissed off, and I'm looking for Darby to be the next one to leave because you want to build the TNT title to be this force, right? All I see is 2019 Intercontinental title. Maybe later, maybe earlier. Because, everyone knows the Intercontinental title hasn't been relevant since 2007, 2008. They've had some good runs. But at this point,
I think
the TNT title is quickly becoming their cruiserweight title. When they first brought it back.
I can see that.
Does it really matter? So you built it up for 3 weeks for Darby Allin to win the belt, which he deserved, by the way, after the way he got treated last year.
Right.
And you build it up. I'm like, oh, cool. All right. So you're actually giving him some momentum. We actually got some good shit going on. You're using it to establish stars.
Mm-hmm.
Guys like Buddy Matthews, which was a banger-ass match.
Right.
You may as well just fucking put it on Buddy Matthews. But no! You put it back on Samoa Joe so you can do something stupid like give it to freaking clumsy Smurf Wardlow.
Wow.
And because of that decision, because of the execution, I'm going to have to say, fuck this match. But fuck the match result.
Right.
The match was good.
It was really good.
I felt like it should have been a better result. Wrong person won. Big mistake. Mistakes were made. It was at that moment where Tony knew he fucked up.
So my opinion on it, Darby should have won, yes. You could have had Joe attack him after the match if you wanted the Wardlow return. Wardlow can go after the Ring of Honor television title. Joe's the TV champion too. There's no reason to put the TNT title back on Joe just to have Wardlow come after Joe for that.
Especially when you're trying to rebuild the TNT title as a force, which you have went on record to state multiple times you wanted to do.
Yeah.
You wanted to make the title relevant. That's not making it relevant.
Exactly. Like I said, they easily could have had Darby win, Joe attack him afterwards.
And how long has it been since Darby has held a title?
Too long.
Yeah. And what do? You put an irrelevant title. Let's just say what it is. It's irrelevant. Nobody gives a rat's ass about the TNT title. And it's shit like this is why they don't give a fuck about it.
Right? To be honest, it was predictable, though, that he was going to give it back to Joe.
Yeah, I mean...
I'd see it.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not pissed that Joe won it back.
Right.
It's just the last few weeks of building it up to try to establish it was pointless. It was a
Exactly.
complete waste of fucking time.
I agree.
And you had good storytelling, fantastic storytelling throughout the matches too. I genuinely thought for a while there, I'm like, wow, they're actually doing something with this belt. Okay. Well, completely nullifies all of my hopes. Just like my dreams, you just shattered them. Good job.
Right. Well, all that aside, looking at the entire episode of Dynamite, I would personally say it was a really good episode. Great matches. Few little things nitpicky that I would say brought it down some. But I would honestly give this so far the best grade of the week, an 8 out of 10.
Despite the fact that I think we had the wrong main event and equally wrong results for some of the matches.
Right.
And I think that overall, even though the main event did piss me off because of the decision, made me just want to just walk up to every single person involved and just give them a freaking stunner. But other than that, I'm gonna go with you on this one and give it an 8.
Nice.
Yep, I'm gonna go with it. It would be higher if we didn't see Jade Cargill every week.
I know, right?
I just like bullying Jade Cargill.
There's
It's hilarious. Her Twitter reactions are funny. Like, her Twitter reactions are so fucking funny, though.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen, you and I both know him, so I'll bring him up. I've seen Jason Page, Jason Hatch, whatever crap you want to call him nowadays, has mentioned he likes the improvements of Jade before on social media, but I just, something about her just rubs me the wrong way, I guess, because I don't see it. I don't.
Stop. I get it, Hodge. You have to kiss a little ass to get far in the business. I get it. You can't call it like it is because you do it for a living, so you got to kiss a little ass. I get it. But you got to ruffle feathers and be real and call things like they are. Jade Cargill is boring.
Yes.
And the only reason why she holds the belt is because they're not pushing the right people so they can take it off.
Right.
Of her.
I'd agree.
Because they were like, hey, this is, they saw the success of Roman Reigns and they were going to try to duplicate it. She is nothing more than a female Goldberg. A failed experiment. A failed experiment that happened by accident.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks to Shaq. You're welcome, by the way. And that's all I'm going to say. Her finisher is pretty nice, though. Right. The Glam Slam, which I've seen done by better people like Beth Phoenix.
Exactly.
Jaded. What's jaded about you? Jaded at the fact that I want to turn off my fucking TV. Anyway, go ahead.
Same. Moving on now, shall we? SmackDown. We kick off Kayla Braxton backstage waiting on the arrival and gets the arrival of the Bloodline, well, part of the Bloodline. The Undisputed Universal Champion, Roman Reigns, one half of the Tag Team Champions, Jimmy Uso, Solo Sikoa, and Paul Heyman show up. They talk a little bit backstage, nothing all that important really for that part, anyhow. And we move into the finals of the SmackDown Tag Team Title Contenders Tournament. You got Ricochet and Braun Strowman versus Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci, with Gunther in their corner of Imperium. Really good tag team match between these two teams. I mean, for Ricochet and Braun Strowman only have teaming up a couple times. These two seem to be a really good tag team, in my opinion. And
all right. This is where I come in to be the oddball out.
Uh-oh.
Here we go. You've been on a roll, man. I actually agree with you. Again.
Wow.
That is the
That's a
third
shocker.
thing we agree on. What the hell's going on? Is this a new me?
Maybe.
No, but like Ricochet and Braun Strowman, when I first seen them, like as a tag team, I was like, there's just something about the chemistry those two have. They just like Braun's actually having fun. It just looks like he's having fun in there. He doesn't care about taking the match too serious, but he's just having fun.
Right.
And that's what I like. That's what I like about it. It seems like a fun team.
So, talking about it, I thought going in that Imperium probably was going to end up winning, but much to my shock, at the end we see Braun Strowman lay out Ludwig Kaiser with the Beast Bomb, but he doesn't finish there. He tags in Ricochet, and Ricochet goes on top of the big man's shoulders to hit this. I think it was a shooting star press, if I remember right, or 450, one or the other. Anyways, off of Braun Strowman to pick up the win.
Yeah, that was great, man. I'm just gonna say this. That would have been close to banger of the night for me.
Yeah.
Now, I'm adding banger of the night. That's my thing now. Because the Danielson Thatcher match for Dynamite took banger of the night for that, for sure. But so this one's close to banger of the night, for sure. For SmackDown.
Oh, so you banger for you is kind of your shucky ducky quack quack.
Yep, that's gonna be my new. That's gonna be remember. It's actually people are gonna actually remember it, not meme it.
There you go.
She shuckied my ducky, and I quacked. That was an actual meme. No bullshit.
Wow.
She shuckied my ducky. Somebody made that as a meme. Like, what?
I believe it. That's crazy, but I believe it. All right. From that really good match, got Caleb Braxton talking backstage with Charlotte and get interrupted by Sonya just before their match. But before they get into the match, I did write Daryl. I should have wrote Michael, but I did put Daryl. Before we get into that match, though, they show from the LA Coliseum the night before where the New Day, both of the Mysterios, Ray and Dominic, and the other two members of Judgment Day were on the racetrack with Clint Boyer and Michael Waltrip. And it was quite the interesting segment. Ray and Dom were driving their own race cars around the track and hitting each other with some bombers, so as to speak.
I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. Like, at the Charlotte segment to this part, I went on and made me something to eat. I didn't even care.
No?
I didn't even care about this. Like, that Charlotte segment was just boring, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, that it was.
Because it's Charlotte.
The racing segment was pretty entertaining, I felt like.
Yeah, the racing segment, I just went and I just was like, I thought it was a commercial, so I went and made me something.
Whoops.
I thought it was a commercial, so I was like, what? Okay, well, NASCAR season's in, so I'm going to go make me something to eat. Bye.
So I feel like what they're doing with it is still just building towards WrestleMania, and Ray's going to end up facing Dom at WrestleMania. Is what it's going to lead to.
It's the same shit the same formula we've seen before a million times ever since Undertaker and Kane.
It's interesting that they had New Day involved though too, but you got to have somebody there with Ray, I guess, to counteract Finn and Damian. Move on to the match. You get Sonya versus Charlotte for their SmackDown Women's title. Not much of a difference from their match they had a couple weeks ago, really, in my opinion. Charlotte wins with the figure eight, where it's a shock there. There isn't one. Yada dee da. Then you get.
I fell asleep briefly. What happened? Were we talking about Charlotte Flair having another easy match? I'm sorry.
Yeah, pretty much. No offense to Sonya. She is athletic and really good in the ring, but we didn't need that again, honestly.
We really didn't.
We go backstage, and Roman's talking to Jimmy and Solo, wanting to know where the hell Jay is. Jimmy tells him twice. I haven't heard from Jay at all this week. And nobody else has heard from him because I haven't heard from him.
In the
Roman
Twitter,
just like pissed.
and on Twitter, I've been watching a lot of that Oosey Juicy. And he said, I'm out. Blood emoji.
Yep.
And then after this episode of SmackDown, he said, I'm in the city.
Yep. Cruising the city.
So
yeah. So Roman tells Jimmy and Solo to go and find Jay and figure out what's going on there. That was that part of the segment. We move into Rich Holland and Butch versus the Viking Raiders in another pretty good tag team match. I personally didn't think it was quite as good as the finals of the SmackDown Tag Team Title Contenders Tournament, but it was still a good match. Viking Raiders pick up the win. There's no shocker there, really.
it was good, but it was a good match, but I feel like it could have been better.
Right, I agree.
I felt like if they would have put some stakes on it, it could have been better.
After the match, Sheamus and Drew come out face to face with Eric and Ivar, and they brawl briefly.
Can we please just drop this Viking Raiders Banger Bros feud, please? Like right now.
I think we'll get it for another week or two because Drew and Sheamus are going to want an actual match against him. But
this is what you've been reduced to, Drew McIntyre. Last year, this time, you were WWE champion.
So can I kind of spoil a little rumor that's out there since you're mentioning Drew being relegated to this?
Sup.
Drew and Shamo might end up being in the same match at WrestleMania. It's not going to be a tag team match, though. It's rumored to be Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus versus Gunther in a triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship.
That's just has brain overload. I would like that, please.
Right?
Like, Gunther could drop the belt to either one of those two, and it wouldn't hurt him.
I agree.
Because I think they got something big planned for him, because there ain't no way they would have him last as long as he did in the Rumble and them not have something planned for him bigger.
Exactly.
But it's just they probably want to push him for the big one, but right now it's kind of crowded.
True. That it is.
Like Gunther versus Cody would be a great match.
Yes, it would. But they kind of proved that at the end of the Rumble. So that was just a little taste of what they could do with each other.
Oh, yeah.
From there, they would show the highlights from the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match, what happened afterwards. We'd see Bray Wyatt sitting in his rocking chair, and then all of a sudden pops in Uncle Howdy with his hand on his back, and then he turns to the camera and says, "Run!"
Yeah, and I was too busy trying to wipe the bleach out of my eyes.
Yeah?
I used to be a big Bray fan, but like these last few weeks with Bray has been really like this last month has been with Bray. I mean, the last month with Bray has been kind of with him.
Kind of get that. It's been odd, that's for sure. All right. So then you go into the main event match of the night. As I mentioned, the Fatal 4-Way Elimination Chamber qualifying match. Shotzi versus Shayna Baszler versus Lena Vega versus Natalya. I was surprised by who won this, but yeah, I shouldn't have been, knowing that Elimination Chamber is taking place in Canada. Not much really to say about this match. It was a short fatal 4-way. Natalya gets the sharpshooter on Zelina, and Zelina taps out. Natalya wins the match. Joins the field for the chamber.
I feel like the wrong person won this match.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Nothing against Natalya at all. Her time was 3 years ago. No, her time was 4 years ago. Maybe even 5. It just seems like so random. It's like they just were like, all right, we're just going to put straws in a cup, and whoever draws the shortest one, you're going over tonight. And she just happened to be the lucky one that drew the shortest straw.
Well, I feel like, honestly, it's just because she's from Canada, and that's where the Elimination Chamber's at.
It's like, but still, you know what I mean? Like, dude, you're not going to win, but
right.
You're just there to build that you, and plus you're in a storyline with Shayna Baszler.
Yeah.
So why the hell? Which, don't even get me started on Shayna. But I'm not even going. I'm angry for you, Shayna. I'm mad for Shayna. Yeah, I'm not mad at her. I'm mad for her. Like, why aren't you getting pushed for a big title? You go from Raw to SmackDown, back to Raw, back to SmackDown, and get nothing. And now you're best friends with Ronda Rousey. The fuck out of here. You know what I mean?
That might benefit her.
Ronda. Now you're best friends with Ronda. I know you two are friends in real life. We all know that, okay? But you're really going to carry Ronda Rousey through a match? That's what you've been reduced to? Carrying your best friend through a match? Because we all know when she really wants to, she could wrestle, but when she actually tries.
Yeah.
But it really also just depends on who she's with, too.
That's true.
Like, unfortunately, she had to wrestle with Shotzi, the queen of botch. A person that, honestly, like Shotzi, I thought had a lot of potential until I realized she doesn't really.
Person's opinion. Anyway, went from that. Roman backstage with Paul again, and Jimmy and Solo come back in. Still couldn't get a hold of Jay. Roman apologizes for losing his cool. Tells Jimmy and Solo to go back to the bus. Paul's got some good meal set up for him to eat back there. He's going to go take care of business in the ring. Roman and Paul go to the ring. Roman gets out there, and the crowd's chanting for Sammy. Roman says, hey, I was going to ask you guys who I should talk about first, but obviously you want me to talk about the past. So he starts talking about Sammy and then about WrestleMania and Cody. And Sammy comes from behind and attacks the tribal chief. And they start brawling a little bit. And Sammy actually hits a spear on Roman Reigns, which knocks Roman out of the ring. But then you get Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa hitting the ring and attacking Sammy. They get the numbers game in there, 3-on-1 once Roman gets back in.
Oh, yeah.
Sammy gets taken out after.
We got to talk about the amazing storytelling that they did in this ring, dudes.
Yeah.
Like, for real. Like, it's so good. He's like, I never wanted anything from you until now.
Right. I was just going to mention that. Yep.
And he challenged him, and Roman said, you broke my family up, so now I'm going to break you in front of your family.
Yep.
And that is such good storytelling. Like Roman, like people, I think people just like hating Roman because to be different.
Yeah.
But you're still going to watch.
Right.
That's what I've learned about haters. You're still going to watch.
Right.
And for that, thank you, by the way, for all the haters out there, for all the haters of Tiger Talks Wrestling. Thanks for still watching. Because we know you secretly like it. You love it. Because what do I say? A good friend of mine always says, I don't have haters. I just got fans in denial.
Nice way to put it. Nice way to put it.
And that's what Roman has right now. He's got friends. Yeah. He's got fans in denial. Because there are people that just never liked Roman, but you did.
Sure.
You did. Because every time that you see him on Raw, you still go and watch. You still sit there like a drone and watch. Because you're intrigued. As much as you want to try to say you're not, you are. You like it. You like what you see. And that story, you're going to watch the Elimination Chamber because you want to see Sami Zayn beat Roman's ass.
Right.
And that push happened because of us. And it started with the Uzi thing.
Right.
And it was on from there.
Yes.
And you know what's funny? The Uzi thing happened by accident because Sammy said he was trying to get Solo to break character.
Yeah, I seen that.
Because he would tell them one thing and go out of nowhere and go completely in a different thing on purpose to get them to break character. It worked with Jimmy, it worked with Jay, it worked with Roman, and it worked with Solo a little bit.
Yeah. It's not fully with Solo.
But it fully worked with Roman and Jimmy.
Yeah.
Which took away from the storytelling a little bit, to be honest. But it was still cool. It's cool to see.
Yes.
I freaking loved the Bloodline storyline, especially now that it's split into two groups.
Right. It'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see, will Jey Uso actually show up and be there with Jimmy to defend the tag team titles this week, the SmackDown tag team titles this week against Braun and Ricochet? Or will they kind of freebird it and have Solo step in for Jey because Jey no-shows again?
That would be cool.
I think Jey will probably show up, though, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I would say, Dynamite and SmackDown were the two best shows, in my opinion, last week. Dynamite I gave an 8. I feel like SmackDown I'd give a 7 and 3/4. I'll give to SmackDown. I can't quite give them an 8. That last promo makes it almost there, but there was just some stuff on SmackDown that brought it down below an 8. That whole SmackDown Women's Title rematch that was not necessary, and the Fatal 4-Way not getting much time. Those things just brought it down some, to me.
Yeah, there was just segments that felt rushed.
Yeah,
and there was matches that felt like they could have went longer. And man, we are 4 for 4 right now. I'm actually agreeing with you on this one too. We gotta stop, man. People are gonna think, "Oh shit, they're getting along. Holy crap, what's going on?" Right? But I'm gonna have to ding it down. I'm gonna have to ding it down just a little bit more because I'm gonna have to ding it down just a little bit more. I'm gonna have to give it a 6.5. I'm gonna have to just a little bit because I felt like some segments were too short. And I felt like they could have done a better job telling some other stories aside from the bloodline stuff, because that's always good.
Right.
And I felt like having the same match that they already had last week with the same results was just dinged it down. And I mean, the Holland and Butch match was really good. It's hard hitting like always, but
Yeah.
it's not enough to make up for the more bad than good. So I'm going to give it
Right.
6.5. Yeah.
Okay. That's fair. Let's move on to Rampage. I got so much to say about this show once we get towards the end of it. They kick off the show with the World Trios match, championship match. The Elite versus Ethan Page, Matt Hardy, and Isaiah Cassidy. He's sleeping through it. I thought it was a really good match, honestly. Nick Jackson gets the win over Isaiah Cassidy after they hit the VT trigger.
No surprise there.
No, it wasn't a surprise, but it was back and forth and really competitive.
Yeah, it was a decent match. I'll give it that. Yeah. For a Rampage.
Right. Then they got Brian Pillman Jr. versus Swerve Strickland. Brian looked decent, looked pretty good at the beginning parts of this match, but you knew who was winning this match.
I couldn't watch it because my asthma kept flaring up from all the dust. He kept I couldn't see him through all the space and time evaporation.
Yeah.
I thought he was Goku for a minute there with all the instant transmission.
Right.
But
with a little help from his mogul affiliates.
Yeah, I kept I just couldn't help but be sad because I keep seeing wasted potential, wasted talent.
Yeah. A little help from Parker and Trench. Swerve did pick up the win. That's per usual.
Swerve's good, man. Swerve's really good. They call him Swerve for a reason. You know, He's really good. Like, right when you think he's going to go one way, he goes completely another way.
Yeah.
Contract and all.
After the match, the three of them were beating up on Brian a little bit until Dustin Rhodes came out with a turnbuckle to ward them off.
Oh, God.
Toni Storm and Soraya then beat the Renegade Sisters. All Toni and Soraya in that match. Nothing worth mentioning otherwise. The new Mean Girls, if you will.
I mean, I'm getting PMS vibes from them.
Oh, nice comparison. I like that comparison.
In a good way, you know. And
for anybody who doesn't know who PMS is, just Google it. Google WWE PMS.
They are freaking good, man.
Yes.
Dude, that's they've really put some PMS vibes in there.
I get that. Yeah, I can see that. And the main event was Christopher Daniels versus Roosh with Jose the Assistant and Preston Vance out there. This should not have been the main event. Point blank, period. You had a 3-on-1 assault throughout the entire match. There was no way Christopher Daniels was going to get anything, and he didn't get hardly any offense at all in this match, which is a damn shame. Roosh picks up the win. That's all there is to that. The trios title match should have been the main event. This should have been the opening match if you wanted it on there in the first place. It was just stupid, the whole match and everything about it, in my opinion.
I can definitely see why Christopher Daniels is on his way out.
Right?
I wouldn't be surprised because with Kazarian going back to Impact, it wouldn't be surprised if Christopher Daniels wasn't that far behind.
Yeah, I wouldn't be either. I mean, I know he's got Ring of Honor stuff too, but
speaking of that, I got to start watching Impact again. I've been missing out on that.
Yeah, I don't get the channel time. That's part of the reason why I don't watch it. I mean, I know there's other ways I can watch it online, but
yeah, I watch it. I get the channel thanks to my buddy because he was able to let me use his sling, and because he gets it on his sling, and because it's in his name, it's on his area, it appears on his sling.
It's nice.
Yep.
So anyway, Rampage wise, I'd give it a 5 out of 10 probably. It's just being nice, pretty much. But it was what it was.
I'm not as nice. I'm just gonna call it like it is. This was dog shit and should not have happened. Like, period.
The only good thing that happened on it was that trios tag match.
Yeah, the trios tag match, and I feel like they could have done more with Soraya.
Yeah,
And I feel like the Strickland match was good, was decent, but this is shit that they could have just put on Dark or Elevation.
Right.
So I'm gonna give it a 4.
Fair enough.
That's me being generous.
Right.
Could have gave it the real one, which was a 2, but I'm being nice and giving it a 4.
Well, that's good. But anyway, so that wraps up the last 2 weeks, other than NXT Vengeance Day. But as I mentioned, I still haven't seen it. I'm not going to talk about it until after I have. So we're going to leave that for next Sunday, this upcoming Sunday night. I know all the results of it, but I'll still watch it so I can give fair and just opinions on everything that happened.
I'm just gonna say, welcome to the Twilight Zone.
I didn't agree with some of the results I've seen, but we'll get into that on Sunday. That'll be our first thing on the docket. Then we'll talk all Raw, NXT, SmackDown, Dynamite, and Rampage from there. And of course, Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time is when I'm currently figuring we'll do that. We could possibly do a Saturday night instead. John did say he's got all weekend off, but I'll talk to him. And right now, I'll just say Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern time, because that's where we've been doing it. Everybody that's watching this at any point, just double check social media just to be safe if it gets changed. But we'll talk that. And then the week after, 1 week from this upcoming Saturday, is Elimination Chamber. So I'll probably aim to do an Elimination Chamber prediction show on the 18th earlier in the day, like around 5 p.m.-ish Eastern time, somewhere around there.
Which I will be watching, by the way.
Good. And then we'll do our recap show the night after so that we can have Elimination Chamber as part of that weekly recap as well.
Because a friend of mine's having a watch party in the Discord, and I'm going to be watching it through him.
Nice.
Yep.
So, any other thoughts or comments or concerns from the past 2 weeks of WWE/AEW programming that you've got? As we
AEW, please get your shit together when it comes to Rampage.
Right.
That's all I'm going to say about that. Because I said a lot about the main event this week. And God knows I had a lot more to say about it, but I'm going to leave it alone. I'm not going to beat the dead horse already. It's already dead.
That's fair.
Killed by his signed TK, Tony Khan. Good job.
Right. I don't agree with a lot of things that he does, but he does put on some decent shows. I'll give him that much. When he seems to care, he gives the wrestlers a chance to show off their talents in the ring. I guess this is what I could say.
Yeah, just don't let them write their own stories.
Right.
Stick to what you do best, and that's wrestle.
Yes. Be interesting to see what goes down the rest of this week. I mean, we got NXT tonight. The only thing I know for sure scheduled for NXT tonight, because I didn't read the email that they probably sent out earlier, but Bailey from Raw is going to be on to do a Ding Dong Hello episode with Toxic Attraction. Seemed like there was a match or two that was announced for NXT tonight as well, but I can't think of anything else off the top of my head.
Oh boy. Grayson Waller got suspended
For 1 week because he interrupted Shawn Michaels' press conference after Vengeance Day and raised a bunch of hell, I guess, from what I have seen. So he's supposedly not going to be on the show tonight, but we'll see. You know how suspensions in wrestling go.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it's real suspensions, like how Matt Riddle kind of was suspended the last couple months and still hasn't been seen, but he was sent to Rio.
Suspended.
Yeah. I mean, injured, not suspended. My bad. Storyline wise, that's why Riddle's off TV, because he's injured. Anywho, Dynamite tomorrow night is loaded. I know they've got Bryan Danielson versus Rouge, MJF facing Konosuke Takeshita. What else do they got? I know they had other matches than just those two, but those are the two main matches I know for Dynamite. Yeah, there'll be others. Those will be the two main ones, I think, though. And then SmackDown, you got the tag team title match, the Usos, supposedly the Usos, defending the SmackDown tag team titles against Braun Strowman, and Ricochet. Felt like there was something else they had for SmackDown too, but not ringing a bell at the moment. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. That's planned for the rest of this week for wrestling. Monday Night Raw took place last night. A lot of things to talk about from that when we get to the show on Sunday. And I think that's pretty much it for all this. So. Plug away, my friend.
Oh, just my Twitch. Twitch.tv/BustaBoy. If you want to see me do speedruns live, there you go. And if you want to see my but if you don't want to catch me live, you can always catch like my best runs that I do on my Busta Boy Speedruns channel.
Nice.
And that's it.
I do want to say I don't think I really took the time to mention it because we were cut on time pretty much. But thank you to Tyler Aiken for coming in and chatting along with us in the comment section yesterday. We don't get people in here on these shows that chat. I see for quite a while now, there's been 2 viewers watching. Nobody said a word, though, in the comment section. I appreciate it when people do. It helps us keep going and knowing that you guys are enjoying the show, and we want everybody involved in some way, shape, or form. We prefer
interaction is very important. Yeah, interaction is very important. It helps keep the channel alive.
That it does.
And it helps keep us from algorithm know. And it lets the algorithm know, hey, you're relevant.
Right.
Actual channel. Oh shit.
Right. That's just me nitpicking a little, but yes, thank you for Tyler Aiken for coming in and John for popping in for a little bit that he did yesterday as well and keeping us going in the comment section for a period of time. You guys now know when the next shows are. If anybody wants to join in the comment section, we'd be happy to bring you along, and have you part of the show as well in some way, shape, or form. So,
oh yeah.
With that being said, that's all the time we got today. We'll catch you guys on Sunday night. Have a good one.